Oh, dads, how's it going? I was just thinking of you. We should probably have a talk. Fresh pot of coffee's around the corner, free flannels in the closet. Put on something comfortable and pull up a chair. So I know, last video, I was tempted by the dark side. I had to know what it was like to feel like a young man again, feel that weight of picking up all the currency. But my wrists just don't have it anymore. I needed to find a strategy that would speak to all of us, the dads inside all of us, and something that we could do after a long day of work. Kids went to bed, you mowed the lawn, you had dinner, everything is quiet in the house, and you just want to tuck into a couple hours of making exalts and not thinking. And I think that I found, of all of the strategies that we've tried, the daddiest, number one dad seal approved strategy. So take off your sandals, keep on your socks, and let's get into it. All right, so what is the strategy? In 3.14, they changed the Incursion temple to be able to be turned into an item. So instead of opening your temple, you can actually click a button that is below the open temple button. It will be right here that says take a temple chronicle. What that will do is create an item that, when put into the map device, will open that temple for later. What that means is temples are now easily tradable. You no longer have to go to a Discord or global chat or anything to advertise your temple and try to sell a corruption room or a Doriani's room or anything like that. And so we are able to make these chronicles and easily, just either, if you want to passively list them, you can just put them in a stash tab. People have to search for them. It's a little awkward. It's not built into the website easily, but people do find it. I've already sold a couple. Or you can go to a Discord server like the Forbidden Trove, and people are advertising them here, and it's very easy. They sell very quickly. You can just put a picture of your chronicle here and just say, want to sell softcore, whatever is in your thing, and they sell pretty quickly. And if you have a perfect of all of the good rooms, you can actually get you can make 3 exalts in a single temple. So what we do, this is such a simple, easy strategy. We're going to use Glennach Cairns. The only thing that really matters here is that we get resource reallocation and contested development. What this allows us to do is more easily get tier 3 rooms. What will happen is, if so, you have 2 rooms, right? If you want to change like the upper right room to a new room like the Locus of Corruption, it will take the levels of the lower left room and add them to the room that you turned it into. So you can immediately get a tier 2 room just when you swap. And then you have that's what the contested development is. With resource reallocation, you have the 50% chance to go from level 1 to level 3 immediately. And so it's actually difficult to not get a bunch of level 3 rooms when you're doing your temple. It's just great. And in fact, yesterday I tested strong boxes. I ended up with like Beyond here, and I had Beyond Watchstones. Like, I don't even have Watchstones that matter. They're just for Beyond. The currency that we got was nothing. These nodes are bad. This is actually going to go in a different video for like bad strategies later. But yeah, this is all you need. You only need 4 points. So setting it up is absolutely trivial. All you have to do is do 2 sets of Maven in Glennach Cairns, and then you're good to go. I used the maps that I already had in my stash tab, and in fact, more maps dropped than I used to run the strategy. And then in addition to that, every time we put a map in, we use an Elva mission. So I have a ton, I understand, but to maintain them, you can use close allies, and then you can roll titanium watchstones in Glennach Cairns with the chance for Elva missions to show up, or to get an Elva mission upon completion of the mission of the map. And it's actually really, really easy to roll. Titanium watchstones are dirt cheap, like literally 5 chaos, and that's all of the investment. You can use whatever map you want. I was running Malformation, but what you can do is, if you have like a couple leftover missions, or you're getting low, you want to like balance it, you can toss in a couple white or yellow maps at the end, and you don't even have to worry about running out. Because the temple will be like, it's like the average level of all of your maps +1, something along those lines. So if you run like 5 maps of red maps and then you run 1 white, it'll still be a tier 82, 83 temple, which we can see here. Like these are 81, 82s. Like I was throwing in like tier 1 maps and I still have area level 81, and that's plenty high. Like we just want to make sure it's in the red map territory. So in terms of running the maps, that's almost everything it is. What we are looking for is the locus of corruption, the corruption chamber. That is the most important one. So locus of corruption, tier 3. If you get that, that's a guaranteed 1 to 1.5 exalts. It looks like it's normalized on 1x at TFT, and I sold a couple of these on just my stash tab, so they sell. Second to that is you can get Doriani's Institute. That's for double corrupting gems. Locus of corruption is for double corrupting any regular item. Doriani's Institute is for double corrupting gems. People do that to get like 21, 23 gems, or level 21 Vol gems, stuff like that. People do value getting the apex of Atsuatl, so you can farm the boss and try to get like a nice oil or flask drop from there. But that's not super critical. The most important thing for selling it is the locus of corruption. So what we do when we're running our maps is we look at what Elva offers. If it's not one of the 3 big rooms, primarily the 2 good rooms, the locus of corruption or it'll start off as a corruption chamber for level 1, or if it's not a Doriani's room. If it's not one of those 2, we always upgrade it, because what that means is if a room is already level 3, it won't be offered anymore when you go to your next Elva. And then the one additional strategy there is if you have already seen the rooms that you care about, the locus of corruption or the Doriani's Institute, if you've seen those rooms in your current map for like the first or second encounter, do not even click the remaining Elva. You can just run straight to the boss, kill the boss, and get out. Because when you click on Elva, it locks in what those next 2 rooms are, and you're only able to see one of a certain room per map. So if you've already seen your corruption chamber, you won't see it again in the next 2 encounters in that map. So what you do is you leave that map, and then you put in another one, and then you have another chance to see it. And so what that will do is that's how I ended up with leftover. I didn't always have an even 3 every single time, so I would leave some maps early, and then I would toss in a white map at the end with an Elva mission just to like get it out of the way. And that is literally the entire complexity of the mission, and that's it. All right, so quick little gameplay demonstration. We have a malformation map, tier 14. We elk it. We don't even, as long as it has no awful mods, just pick Elva. We don't worry about sextants. This is the lowest investment possible. Literally elk and go, and use your Atlas missions. The performance patch has helped quite a bit actually, which is nice. So my strategy here going into the map is think as little as possible, but just put a little bit of effort when we look at Elva. So what we do is we look at Elva. You can control clicker also, by the way, and that will immediately bring up the temple. It can save a lot of effort. We mouse over both of these. We see if there is a room that we care about. Basically, is it a gem chamber or is it a corruption chamber? If it's not either of those, we don't really care about. Sacrifice chamber is nice. So if you see sacrifice, Hall of Offerings, that is also good. But we don't see that here. We just go, we always upgrade otherwise. Just directly rush to the architect. Do a quick run through here. The main thing that you always want to do when you're setting up your temple is just connect as many rooms as possible. You can always tap V when you're in here, and you can just get like a quick little overview of what you're looking at if you need to refresh yourself because you're, sipping your beer and chatting on Discord. And then I really like Malformation. That's why I chose it. It's just a smooth, nice map. Killing Piety is really, really easy. It's no stress. She dies almost instantly. All right, Torture Changers, Cages, and Sparring Room. We don't care about either of those. run to the architect. And in fact, because we don't care about either of the, so like if we want to min-max a little bit, right, just our time, we know that this is no room that we care about. We actually don't care about this room at all. It's not going to turn into something that we ever care about for the rest of the temple. So all we want to do is help it connect a room and then get out. We connected a little room. We helped the temple get easier to navigate, and that can make a difference for. You can have like an awkward room off to the side, like your corruption chamber might be in a weird place, and that can help you just kind of put it all together. But if all of your rooms that you care about are put together, you can go in, kill the architect, and immediately leave. You don't even have to worry about getting the stones of passage, killing monsters, or anything. You can just get in and get out. All right, lightning room and explosives room. We don't care about either of these. Explosives room is decent because it makes navigating the temple easier. But I don't know. I doubt anyone really would care about that when they're buying the Chronicle. It's just a tiny consideration. And then we want to connect more rooms here. More juicy rooms connected, the more likely someone will buy our Chronicle. And so the Elva missions are complete, so we can just get out if we want. Like this. All right, and that's it. It literally, as little thought as possible, we just look for, this is a room for corrupting gems, or this is a room for a corruption chamber for corrupting items, and that's it. And as soon as we see one of those rooms, we do not click Elva anymore. We run to the boss and we get out, put in our next map, and keep going. So what were the results? Part of the reason why I didn't show this at the beginning like I do in most of my videos is it doesn't look that impressive, right? We were just, and this is really nice for our wrists compared to last strategy. We are just going in a map, doing Elva, killing the boss, and getting out. And that means almost nothing drops. And, if bonus content, if you want to know if the Beyond thing really makes a difference. I had 4 Platinum T2 Beyond stones, and this is all the currency that dropped. And I think half of that was from Ultimatums. This is just normal map drops, Elk and Go. This is like average what you would expect. So we got 5 Chronicles that were worth money, and only one of them that we wouldn't be able to sell. This one we weren't able, we tried really didn't really try that hard. We were just doing the maps, and the rooms that we cared about never showed up. So that's okay. And in fact, what you can do is if you only have like 3 incursions left, and it just looks like you're super unlikely to ever hit it, just immediately toss in a white map, right? White map, and use your white mission, burn that Chronicle, and just get out. Worst case, you could get really lucky, and you could get a flip and then upgrade the corruption chamber, but you don't have to worry about it. So we got 1 trash room, but the rest of what we got is we got 1 with a Locus, 1 with a Doriani, 1 with a Doriani and a Locus, another Locus, and then another Doriani. And it's really good. So I think that this is, I just sat down for 90 minutes and I made 6 Exalts, 4 Exalts an hour. And it's just solid, no thinking, in terms of pure profits, it obviously does not compare to any of the bigger strategies or even any of the medium strategies. This is just low risk, low reward. I need to make 6 to 10 Exalts tonight when I'm just hanging out, and that's just what I'm gonna do. And it's, I think if you just want to Elk and Go, this is just like, 1 tier above that, where you can guarantee basically making some money, and you could even want to run these temples and use it to work on your own items. And I think this really speaks to how easy it is to make money with the lowest investment in this game right now. A big part of why I'm doing these videos, I started it for me. I started selfishly for me, is I was sitting down asking myself, like, because I had spent a night or 2 nights just Elk and going, not knowing what I was going to do, just doing random stuff on the Atlas, and, barely watching my money go up, if at all. And I wanted to answer the question of what are like the brain dead things that I could do to guarantee that at least my money is always going to go up. And if you do this, so this was over, if you make 8 exalts in an hour, in about 2 hours, if you can average 8 exalts in 2 hours, uh, you do that for 2 days, that's 16 exalts, right? And you do that for 3 days, 4 days, and you do that consistently. And if that's over your spending, like a headhunter is in reach for even the average player. And I think that's really cool. Obviously you have to balance that with your spending, and you want to balance that with the other strategies that you want to do. But I just want to show that, there's awesome strategies out there. They're crazy. But what can you do when you just don't want to watch a video of some, like, hyped up teenager that is like yelling at you and just hitting you with all the crazy strategies that you can do? Like, I get it, right? Like, it's so stressful sometimes to balance all of the complexity of this game, and just seeing, like, all these people in their like late teens, early 20s, like going, I was like that, right? I was the super power gamer in my early 20s. Like, I lived, ate, and breathed just thinking about whatever game I was playing at the time and how I could optimize my strategies. And eventually you only have so much energy in the day, and that gets eaten away by doing all of the adult responsibilities. But I think we can hang, right? At the end of the day, the builds in this game for what you need to do to advance, to kill all of the bosses in the game, to do all the content in the game, it's all approachable. There are builds that allow you to do that for a reasonable amount of currency that you can just put in a reasonable amount of effort. And I want to show that it's not just hardcore players that are, hardcore, crazy early 20s kids that have 16 hours a day that are able to reach all the content within a league. So hopefully this type of strategy really speaks to y'all. I'm not limiting myself to strategies like this, obviously, with my last video, but I want to show like the full breadth of what's out there. And I want to do that with like showing getting into crafting, and showing getting into like different builds and the way that you can put builds together. Like, if you check out my Bane Occultist, I really wanted to show that you could tweak existing builds and customize them for yourself and not spend a lot of money and still do clever things without opening up POB for 10 hours and downing 10 gallons of G Fuel while you're doing it and screaming and playing crazy trance music all the time and whatever, right? Like, that's cool. Like, it's totally cool. I respect that stuff. I used to be like that, but sometimes you just want to have your cup of coffee and still feel like you're power gaming at a certain level and you understand the game and you're successful. So that's kind of like the goal of this whole channel and like the whole thing that I'm doing here. So yeah, if you like this, let me know other things that you have ideas for, like along the same lines. Like, I have a lot of ideas still. I'm collecting the bad stuff that we've tested as well. Like, you guys are not seeing everything that I've tested. I'm only showing like the gems so far. But yeah, if you have any more ideas, comment below and let me know. And, subscribe for more content like this if this speaks to you. And I'm always accessible on Twitch and Discord. And just love chatting about the game and helping people out. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.